Coming up on Midco Sports tonight, there's new leadership in the athletic department at UND. Our Alex Heinert brings you an exclusive interview with the new Fighting Hawks athletic director, Bill Chaves. Then we'll send it down to Vermilion to hear from both Craig Smith and Don Plitzwhite in USD Coach Talk. See how they feel their teams are faring so far. And finally, our first Trick Shot Tuesday of 2018. Time to showcase some local talent. All of that plus much more. Midco Sports Tonight tips off right now.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm Kelly Stewart, and this is Midco Sports Tonight. Well, there was some big news coming out of Grand Forks recently. UND President Mark Kennedy announced Saturday that the University of North Dakota has hired Bill Chaves as their 16th athletics director. Prior to coming to UND, Chaves served as the director of athletics at Eastern Washington University since 2007. He succeeds Brian Faison, who retired December 31st after nearly a decade of serving as North Dakota's AD. Chaves had an impressive resume from EWU, being a two-time recipient of the National Athletic Director of the Year honor, first for the 2012-13 season and then most recently in 2015-16. Chaves' tenure at Eastern Washington was highlighted by the installation of the first ever red synthetic surface in America for their football team. Under his direction, EWU's football program won its final 11 games of the 2010 season and captured the NCAA Division I FCS championship. The football program has won 5 Big Sky titles during his tenure, while qualifying for the FCS playoffs 6 times and advancing to the semifinals 4 times. The resume could go on, but for more on Chaves, we'll toss it over to the man himself. Our very own Alex Heinert is joined by Bill in our Grand Forks studios to talk more about this new leadership. Alex?
Thanks, Kelly. Bill Chaves, on behalf of all of us at Midco Sports Network, welcome to North Dakota. Congratulations on the new position as new Director of Athletics here at UND.
Thank you. It's been exciting. It's been, a tremendous day, and I couldn't be any more humbled and honored to be the Athletic Director here at UND.
This has been, I'm assuming, a whirlwind process for you, because this really just kind of kick-started last week in terms of official interviews and public forums, and now 7 days later you're being introduced this morning.
Yeah, that's probably a great way of putting it. I was here Wednesday, Thursday of last week, and it was going to actually be a little tricky getting out. It was a complete upset that I made it to Spokane on Thursday night, but we made it back there, and then the conversation kind of heated up over the weekend, and here I am on Tuesday. So it's been wonderful. It's been a blessing, but at the end of the day, once we do make it back to Spokane, I can at least maybe tap the brakes a little bit and then kind of figure out what it may look like the next couple of months for me.
Chance to refocus a little bit and get a little more of a plan moving forward.
That's right. Yep.
You mentioned Spokane. Obviously, you've been at Eastern Washington in this same position since 2007. Why now? Why is now a good time for you to transition and come to Grand Forks?
Yeah, it seems like you reach some seminal moments. I reached a certain birthday about over a year ago, and then I'd been there for 10 years, and so you start reflecting. You really do. And as my kids, we went to Spokane, and again, we had never been to Spokane before, and we started there, and they were 7, 4, and 2, and to be able to spend 10 years during their formative years in this industry, again, talk about upsets, that's probably an upset in a sense. So to be able to do that, but then right now at this stage, knowing a little bit about North Dakota, having been in the Big Sky for the last 5 years, it feels as if I'd almost taken some recruiting visits here in a weird way. And so I knew enough from the outside in, and I appreciated all that Brian and his team did over the last 9 years or so. And then, it's time to start another chapter and take the baton and run some more.
You mentioned knowing North Dakota a little bit from your time with Eastern Washington. What made this position, this university, appealing to you?
I think a couple things. I'm so impressed with the student athletes. Obviously, winning the President's Cup last year was impressive. It really was. Watching the coaches from afar, I think the quality coaching and staff. The piece of going back and rekindling I-29 rivalries in the Summit League, it was something that was certainly intriguing. And then you've got 351 Division I schools, and only about 60 of them have college hockey. And that one was certainly something that was intriguing to me as well. And not only college hockey, certainly now, in my ultimate opinion, the best program in the country.
Sure, I think the opinion of a lot of people, I think, that are watching this program. You are a big hockey guy. You're from the East Coast, spent some time at UMass, at Northeastern, at Quinnipiac, all hockey schools. Yeah. Just talk me through about that old Hartford Whalers fan. Talk me about your passion for that sport.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in the New England Whalers, actually, when I was younger. And yes, and then right before my wife and I had children, we actually were season ticket holders their last 2 years in Hartford, and so very sad that they left. But as we went out to Spokane, the one piece of the puzzle, correct, I was at 3 different hockey schools, so I do have an idea from an NCAA standpoint. But the one piece that was interesting is that I've been really close to the owner and the GM of the Spokane Chiefs. Sure. And so it's given me an idea of really how the whole junior piece works, and certainly up close and personal in the Western Hockey League. So I feel like even though we may not have had it at Eastern, I've at least had some education in other aspects.
Yeah, a good feel for what that sport's about. With this athletic director position, you wear a lot of hats, obviously. Yeah. What's the main priority? What do you see as your main responsibility as an athletic director?
Well, first and foremost, to serve our student athletes, number one. I mean, the health and welfare of our student athletes always come first. Then from there, I mean, it's almost kind of like little tenets I have. Is it good for the student athlete? Is it good for the department? Is it good for the university? Is it good for the state? And those are the lenses I'll walk through anytime something comes into my office. Because the one thing I know, having done this now for 10+ years, something will always come through your office. Yeah. It's never ending. It's a revolving door. But it's how you handle situations. I mean, because situations are going to happen. It's how you handle the situations.
Bill Chaves, new athletic director at the University of North Dakota. 2 quick things for you. I know you've only been on the job for about a couple hours, really. I've only accepted this position a couple days ago. Is there a vision? Is there something you really want to see this university accomplish in your time? Do you kind of have some ideas in terms of long-term goals? What does that process look like for you?
Yeah, I'd say this, and I think I said it post the press conference today, is that I think if our student athletes do 2 things, really it's a third thing, but I'll say 2 things. If they come here and they do a great job in the classroom, and they feel as if they have a shot to win a conference tournament or a conference championship, the day, their first day of practice, then we're going to win some championships, because that's just going to happen if you're competitive enough. And then thirdly, you have to be great in the community. And I know that the athletes have done that already. We need to continue to do that, and then who knows, maybe tweak it a little bit more so that we can even be more visible.
Sure. On a more personal note, what's something about you that maybe we don't know? I think we got a good taste of what you're about, a great family man that has been in, I think you said, every different time zone now, working in different universities across the country. What's something interesting, something you're passionate about, something that people out there would want to know about Bill Chaves?
Well, my vocation's probably my avocation. So I'm a sports junkie. And so I'll say that, you know, I'm a diehard Red Sox fan. When you grow up in New England, it's it's part of the deal. I mean, we had had to get Doug Marabelli back and had a police escort just to catch Tim Wakefield. I mean, a backup catcher. That's all you need to know about the Red Sox. But ultimately, I don't know. I've gotten into EPL lately.
This guy's like speaking my language over here. This is fantastic. A Red Sox fan and a soccer fan.
Well, I mean, the Tottenham piece, now here's what I will say, is that I've gotten almost so much into it at this point in time. When the U.S. didn't make the World Cup, which I was disappointed, but I actually was as excited for England because half the team are Spurs. They're all Spurs. And so anyways, what I do find out, though, from the EPL standpoint, it helps you from a business standpoint as well. Some of the things that they do is very interesting. And, you know, my time in Texas, I was there, and they like to have a lot of meat on their diet, you know, and over in Europe, they like a lot of soccer. It's soccer, soccer, and more soccer. And so, I mean, I think I've kind of figured out all the tournaments and such right now, but it's kind of interesting.
Well, this is the first of many conversations about the beautiful game here with Bill Chaves. Hey, thanks again so much for the time, Bill. Best of luck in the new position. Bill Chaves, new athletic director of the University of North Dakota. Best of success to you in this program. Kelly, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, guys. And from everyone here at Midco SN, welcome to the Dakota's Bill. Well, when we come back, we'll send it back up to Grand Forks for another UND Hockey You Sit feature with junior goaltender Ryan or Bob Anderson. You don't want to miss this. Stick around.
Midco Sports Tonight, presented by Avera Orthopedics.